Okay, so Agatha All Along, I was like, came out for 2 episodes or whatever, and as a guy that wasn't really, I'm not gonna say I was like disinterested, but I wasn't hyped up or like, oh snap, I gotta watch this. I was like, I think going in, that sort of might have helped me in the whole thing of being like, oh, I actually sort of like how this is going to go. Especially seeing the trailers or whatever, how the first one was like, it's going to be really serious. Then all the ones after that was like, oh, it's really silly and really goofy, which is not a bad thing, but it's like, also, it's not too far from what Marvel Disney kind of do. That I will say, so far in the first 2 episodes, I feel like they did a really good blend of it. Like there really wasn't funny spots, but I was like there was things that were funny. I was like her having to go to each person and basically, talk about each. Like basically talk about each person that she went to and trying to convince them and stuff like that. I think some of that was funny, or like her digging at each one of them because they all have their own kind of beefs or whatever. Or even, I was like, maybe not in IRL, but the teen uh, basically blackmailing them or coercing them into joining or whatever like that could sort of be funny of like his timing with all that. But I think they set the tone really well of not only from the detective type of thing that they were doing, but also keeping up with like doing some horror esque type things in it. I was like, and I think they came out the gate pretty strong as far as like if you already didn't like some of the stuff of the Marvel show or whatever like that, it might take a while for you to like this, or maybe you just don't. Maybe you also just have like that fatigue, or you're just interested of like how it works in the big scheme of things. But I was like, no, I think I like the fact that they also set up of like they continuing, yes, they're continuing the WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness story, where she still is underneath the spell or whatnot. So I was like, I think I like that. I was like, of course, the funny bit when she comes out naked because she's lucid now, and that the whole town had pretty much been going along with basically what she's been doing. Which, in a sense, while they have been traumatized by what Wanda did, they also are doing to Agatha what Wanda was sort of doing. I mean, I was like, what was going on basically what Wanda was doing to everybody else. So it's sort of, I was like, it's sort of like a like where it's like they had to basically pretend for Agatha's sake because of how she was still stuck in this bind that they had to go along with it instead of trying to break her out of it when that's all they wanted at the same time is to be broken out of Wanda's spell. So I was like, I thought that was interesting to see that basically everything we sort of seen is in her mind. And to be honest, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they showed some things where it's like because they still show that she somewhat is either still got a little bit of like the little mind, like the mind control over her of like the whole with the hex and stuff, while also trying to figure out like how lucid is she with all these things. Like like when she, even though she broke out of the spell, she was like, oh, we got to get in the car and drive, and then it was like you just realized it was just some make shift stuff that she had made at home in order to make it seem like she was driving somewhere. I was like, I was like, I was like, I'm gonna just, I was like, I don't actually know like this her name, but I'm gonna call her Cat because that's who she was in that '70s show. I was like, as the heart or the green witch or whatever like that. I'm surprised they didn't put Dottie in there. She was a librarian or whatever because I was like, her being, and I was like, maybe she'll come back like around probably in another episode or something like that. I thought they might have her be witch or whatever like that because I was like, that's sort of how it looked when she was. It seemed like she was controlling everything and stuff like that from behind the scene when she really wasn't. She was also just a victim in all this. But I also like that out the gate, Aubrey Plaza's character is already just like, no, I don't like you, and it's like, and I was like, but she seems like the villain when I feel like she's going to be sort of a tweener. Like she obviously has beef with Agatha, but at the same time, I was like, she's too prominent of a role to probably also not see that she's going to end up helping them at the same time or whatever. I like what they did with the Seven, how creepy they sort of made them look, and from them popping in on the window to them coming down the stairs in that creepy little crawly type of way. Also thought that it was also, I was like, also, I will say, sound like I'm rambling, but that while I don't think we're really going to get any heroes here out of this story, because if you look at them, everyone has sort of like their own thing. And I was like, of course, Agatha, she wants her powers either by absorbing or taking this dirt road. I was like, the teen and his way of getting everybody sort of to join Agatha or whatever like that. He's going to be like a charming character, but at the same time, I'm like, you wouldn't actually like that person. I was like, and outside of, I want to say, like Kat or Laurent Wu, I was like, daughter. That just seems like, I was like, everybody else sort of has their own motives and stuff like that. So I was like, it is going to be good to see how they do basically with a whole bunch of characters. They're probably going to be a lot tweener or whatever. Like, yes, the story will try to make it where they're the heroes and stuff like that in it. But I would like that if they just sort of made it, I was like, just don't go down the whole of like, we got to make them all good and redeem them or whatever like that. Like, they're not bad people. That's not what it is. But I was like, they don't have to be all of a sudden just like good hero people. I was like, they already got flaws. Of course, they're going to get through them on this walk. There's going to be a lot of butting heads that we already seen. But I hope that you just sort of keep them as like they got to do what they got to do, but they're not over here just necessarily just being good just because Agatha's going to be how she is in the end, and which we don't necessarily know how that's also going to be. But yeah, I was like, I do like the whole. I was like, how her mind is like playing tricks on her. I was like, it's not even from like necessarily a paranoid way. Just basically that through the hex, or even just because she's been in it so long that she just can't try to tell the difference of like what's real and what's not. I think the teen is it's going to be an interesting character. I already done seen people try to say that basically her. I was like Wanda's son or whatever, just because he already sort of has powers or whatever, and Agatha can't hear nothing that he says that has to do anything about who he actually is or whatever. I was like, that's going to be interesting to see if that's just because Agatha is like still got a little bit of loopy fog in her head, or if it's something purposeful of it kind of makes me, I was like, kind of makes me think that he's almost like, I'm trying to make the connection of like hair, like he's Harry, where it's like, and there's so, and like, how Harry had his parents, even though that they passed away, they were still protecting their kid with a spell. And I'm wondering if like this guy, if he is connected to Wanda, that Wanda had like, I was like, there was something because of that's keeping his identity or how he is more hidden or whatever like that. But yeah, I was like, the first two episodes, I was like, I think actually really worked. I was like, I actually enjoyed the show. I was like, I haven't seen, I was like, I'm not going to say I've seen all Disney shows, but so far I was like, this one so far it got me to where I was like, oh, I want to see what happens next week or in the week after that. Whereas some of the other shows have kind of been like, I mean, I'm watching it, I'm in it now, but either I know or how it goes, or I just don't want it to be plotting or just filler. Which I don't think this one will have that same problem, just because the filler that I think that normally we would see has some importance or whatever. You're just gonna have an episode where there probably is, like the first episode, a lot was going on, and the second episode it wasn't a lot going on till basically about the end of the show, but all that stuff is important of why they're here. I was like, what are their specific powers, their dynamic and stuff like that. So they all sort of like, they seem like they're all sort of like cool, but they just don't know each other. Where it's like they all can sort of just say like, Agatha, you annoy the hell out of me, or I ain't about to help you. I already know how you get down, kind of thing. Yeah, so I think the first couple episodes so far have been good. I was like, I hope that they sort of keep up with a mix of the scary horror and like seeing how it connects while, like, yes, it could, I was like, it's gonna have its jokes and being like goofy. I was like, so far I don't think they're gonna go too far into that realm or whatever like that. But I was like, hey, I was like, not total analysis, just because I was like, I'm not about to do no deep dive or anything. I'm like, oh, this connects to here, nothing like that. But anyway, I say give it a watch. I was like, since the first 2 episodes are already here, I was like, you can really give it a good go instead of I was like, I'm glad they didn't try to drop it all like Echo or whatever, because I think it has more impact than Echo, to where I'm like, I was like, Echo, I'm glad they sort of dropped it all at once. I would have been the same way with Secret Invasion if they would have just dropped it all at once. That way, because I was like, that's what I was saying. This don't feel like any of those past shows of, gotta suffer through some of this stuff. I was like, it's very intriguing, and I was like, and I wouldn't be shocked if this does actually connect to the multiverse stuff in a way that the other shows really haven't, just because, especially the route that we've seen. I think whether we would have had RDJ as Doom or we would have kept Kane, her powers and being with the Scarlet Witch, I think the whole magic and all that other stuff has a way to tie into Secret War, because they're going to different planes and different avenues and stuff like that, to where you could say it's a lot of dimension hopping, or however they sort of really do the multiverse. But anyway, that's what I was like. That's all I really took away. I was like, so far, I was like, I'll give it a more watch. But yeah, let me know how you felt about the show. I was like, are you watching it? Do you want to watch it? Have you watched it? What do you think of it so far? Where do you think it's gonna go? Let me know. I was like, we'll talk about it. Peace. I'm out.